morning, my biggies. We are going to make Parmesan biscuits this morning. Very easy, takes about 10 minutes to make, another 10 minutes to cook, and you have fresh biscuits. So, step one, I'm going to measure out 75 grams of plain flour. I'm going to sift that with my little sifter into a bowl. Sifting I usually don't do for bread, but for biscuits it does make a difference. So I'm just gonna, okay, got my sifted flour. And then I take some unsalted cold butter. You can use salted too, your biscuits will just be on the saltier side. And I'm using 6 tablespoons of butter, which I chop up into little cubes. So I slice it horizontally. Sorry, the video's a little weird. It's like the only place that my phone wouldn't fall. So, apologize if you can't see my face while I do stuff. Alright, so I've chopped it into these little sort of sections, and now I'm just going to chop them into little bite-sized nubbins. Okay, so essentially creating nubbins like this big, right? All right, I'm gonna dump them into my flour. Make sure they don't stick to each other. And then I'm just gonna kind of squeeze and squish the butter into the flour until it kind of disintegrates in. So you're basically finding each little nugget of butter and kind of incorporating it into the flour. This is what makes biscuits so kind of buttery and flavorful. My mouth is watering just talking about it because I love butter. But essentially what you're trying to do is incorporate the butter enough that it becomes part of one, but there's no way that you're going to mix it the same way you would mix it if it weren't butter, if it were some other substance. So just try to get every little piece of flour between your fingers along with some butter. Now I'm just like squishing and squeezing. Okay, after about 7 minutes or so, I've actually, it's formed a little dough. You see how it's formed into a dough? It's great. It's a process. You'll see it happen before your eyes, and you'll know when it's ready. If it's, seeming like it's taking a little while, then maybe your butter isn't cold enough. So you pop it back in the oven or pop it back in the fridge and then keep going. Okay, so I'm getting every last scrap out of here from my bowl into my ball. And I'm going to saran wrap this and pop it in the fridge for like 15-20 minutes, and then we'll roll it out. See you in a sec. Hello, my babies. So we're just about there, but in the meantime, I actually went out and I chopped some of my fresh oregano, which is going to be also incorporated into the dough when I roll it out. But you can use any herb, or you can not do herbs. I just like it to have a sort of pungent feeling. So I'm going to chop this and sprinkle it over the dough right when I roll it out. Okay. So, chop, chop, chop. All right. So I actually like to roll, here, I'll move the camera. I like to roll my dough out on the surface. I use these kind of like plastic film cutting boards, but you can actually keep the saran wrap right there on the dough as you roll it out. So I don't have a rolling pin, so I'm gonna use a bottle of wine. Actually, no, I'm gonna use my Yeti. I'm gonna disinfect it first. All right, and now I'm just gonna roll it out. I want it to be about 5 centimeters so that I can make little discs. And then I'm just gonna go, before I do that, I'm actually going to throw on my thyme so that it rolls into it. And I'm going to take a block of Parmesan. And I'm going to grate some Parmesan onto this. You want a hefty serving so that it's nice and cheesy inside. All right. And then I'm going to take my dough and fold it. Oops. Sorry about that. Fold it over itself so that the inside's kind of stuck in the middle of the dough. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue rolling it out. So you can see that I'm using my saran wrap as a protector, and I'm just rolling it out. I want it to get it essentially as thin as I can. I want these discs to be really delicious and crispy and really good for dipping in soups or just having as a little snack around the house. Okay, so I'm just about there. Now, I'm going to make my little discs. So I actually don't have I don't know, I think there's an official pastry thing you can use. So I'm going to use a wine glass. And I'm just going to select somewhere just on the corner. And then you've got a little disc. Now I'm going to put the discs. You might need to use a knife to get them up. So I'm going to do a bunch. And then I'll use my knife to pull them up. And then I'll roll the second one out with the scraps and make more discs. You're going to want to transfer these discs over to a baking sheet with parchment paper on it, or if you don't have parchment paper, you can just butter the pan. We're also going to preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. I need to look up what that is. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, almost done with my first round of little discs. Okay, hi guys. So I've rolled out my discs. They're really ugly, but who cares? And last thing I'm gonna do, final touches, is take my Parmesan and just give a little bit of parm to the top of them. That'll make a little crispiness. Make sure that if any of them missed any cheese, we got it. Now bear in mind, these discs are just gonna get crispy. They're not gonna rise or anything. We don't have any rising agent in them. So they're really good as little crackers, but that's kind of it. Okay, so then I'm also gonna sprinkle some salt on them. You can also do this after they've come out of the oven. Sometimes I forget to do this step, so I just do it beforehand just to make sure it's all good. All right, and when my oven is ready, I'm gonna pop them in. I'm gonna watch them because it's basically gonna take maybe 7 minutes. But we'll see. I'll let you know how long it takes. Okay, my babies, this one's for you, Louise. We're gonna put these puppies in the oven now that it's 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, no joke, they're gonna burn, so you have to watch the time. Don't just leave it and hope you'll smell it, because then that means they're burned. So, check on it at 7 minutes. It'll probably take 10 minutes, but check on them in 7 minutes. See you in 7 minutes. Okay guys, it's been 7 minutes, right? So I'm gonna check on them. And they're still going, they're bubbling, but I don't see any brownness. So I'm gonna let them go for another 3 minutes and check on them. You'll start to see them brown around the edges. That's when you know it's ready. So come back. Okay, my babies. Oh, they're starting to brown. I'm gonna let them go another 2 minutes or so. So we're gonna be at a total of 11 minutes. Guys, they are ready to go. Just dusty hand. So I'm gonna let them rest for at least 7 minutes so they can cool down. Look how yummy they look. So I got complaints from my mother that I wasn't showing the final product enough in my videos. So here we go. They're so flaky, so buttery, so flavorful. This is gonna be great in my soup or just as a snack. So good. Love you all.